Welcome to another show, Marketing Made Easy. It's February 1st, 2020. Welcome to the show. Happy to have you here. If you're here on the show live, please let me know. Hashtag live or hashtag replay if you happen to be here on the replay. But we're just getting started right now. So welcome everybody. I see you jumping in already all over the world, all over the Facebook, all over Instagram. No, I was talking about Instagram. We're not on Instagram, but we're on LinkedIn. We're on YouTube and we're on Twitter. So welcome everybody. This is going to be a fun show as always. My friend Scott is in the blue room and I'm going to bring him in to say, hello, Scott.
Hello, Joey.
Nice to see you. We have people. We have Petra here. She's on the live already. Thank you, Petra. I know we have some more people here. Hey, Daniel's here. Good to see you.
Hey, Daniel. Hi, Petra.
What a week already. It's February. It's Tuesday, and man, I feel as though it's been a full week already. Not that it's been crazy busy, but just like I'm just so energized, and I just love it. How's your week going?
Kind of same thing, Joey. Totally energized. You saw I did a live about a half hour ago. One of my friends was like telling somebody about my maple latte list journey. It's like for a year he has it, and he's lost all this weight, and he's done this. And I'm like, it hasn't been a year. Well, she go make a video then, so I know what it is. So I made the video, and just exciting times that just getting to do this stuff and play and market and do what we love and talk about what we love. I walked into the studio today and said, I love this studio and I love this place and I love you, the owner, and like this community. And it's like to do that on a daily basis and then play with this and all the different things. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember, this morning or today, I talk about like atlases on Tuesdays, right? And so I told the group today, which is totally true, that, the way that I look at this was another realization is that, I so look forward to teaching it, to being there, that it's not like, oh, I got to go teach Atlas. It's like I get to go teach Atlas, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a completely different shift, which is totally true.
Yeah.
And because this was, at 10 o'clock this morning, I basically finished looking at my, presentation and like tweaking it a little bit here and going, yeah, I think I'm ready to go. Usually that's right around the time to go live, right?
Yeah.
But I had a couple of hours. I'm like, now what am I supposed to do for the next couple of hours waiting to teach this? And I go, I just felt that anticipation I just want to go and be with these people, which is amazing. That's what we're talking about all the time about dream clients, right?
It's dream client, it's dream life, it's dream business, it's architecting what you want it to be. And that is what it's about. And one of the important pieces, Joey, I see is like each week, forget about when we talk other times, but each week it's the next thing. And as you teach it and share it, you go to the next level because that goes out there. And then you go deeper and then it goes out there. And the students bring it back to you and then you go deeper. And that's just how this whole education piece works because when you teach it to somebody and you've done it and then you teach it, it goes to the next level of it.
Always. Yeah, it's so exciting. So exciting. Narcissa, hey, good to see you. And Collie is here. So awesome to be here with you tonight. So awesome to hear of your launch, Scott. Yeah, Scott just launched his latest project, and he's doing phenomenally well, as from what he tells me. Let him talk about that. Life is about loving who we be and what we do, and how we serve others doing what we love. Absolutely right. Couldn't agree more.
Hugs to you, Collie. Joey, she's exactly right. When we can articulate it from the heart and use the word love and service and that in what we do, it's not this. I was having a conversation with Carvel, my developer business partner in the video software company. And one of the things we said was, we're not going to use any language that we would consider manipulative, just because of where we're at with this piece of software. And it's about love and memories and feeling and emotions. And we don't, obviously in marketing, sometimes you might spin something a little bit. And yes, manipulative. Jason Fladley talks about it in One to Many. You have to, for the greater good of sometimes your prospect, manipulate them when it's good for them. We just, anything that we felt is going to be that way because of what we want the product to feel like. And yeah,
That's amazing. I want to shift gears and to talk about the fear, or not the fear of missing out. It's the opposite of that, fear of missing out, which is the joy of missing out. Have you heard of this?
yeah,
Good.
you just mentioned it.
Yes, I heard
So,
it before. Yes, I did
so I've
a
heard it
second ago.
before. Yeah.
Well, the Petra, who is here, um, put this post in our Facebook group. By the way, that gives me an opportunity to plug the Facebook group. Come on in here and join us in that Facebook group as amazing
People
humans.
post in your Facebook group, Joey?
Pardon me?
People post in your Facebook group? I thought you're just supposed to join Facebook groups as a strategy and then go in and put in your stuff.
And throttle them to get on a webinar so I can sell them crap? No, that's not what this is
Exactly, and
about.
put them into a chat bot so that they get further into the process and you develop the trust with them. There's the sarcasm piece.
Yeah.
Ding.
Well, I think we need to have like a little, yeah, like a little, like an icon or something. Go sarcasm alert, ding, 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 ding.
Please,
Right? So
let's get with whoever, Zoom or Face. Let's get with the gods here and say you need a sarcasm icon. You got
yeah,
a
what's
plus,
happening
a
here?
thumbs up.
StreamYard, come on.
Where's the sarcasm icon?
Uh, and I don't even know where I was going with this. Oh yeah,
We're
so
going with JOMO and Freddie Mo or Johnny Mac or whatever
yeah,
the
the FOMO and the JOMO, and so Petra put in the group like the joy of missing out and actually having bliss when you're missing out on something that everybody else thinks is so super important. And she asked anybody in the group, and I chimed in. I go, yeah, I basically have that every day, a joy of missing out because I don't watch TV or news or stuff like that, and I just love it. Like I don't really need it. And so that sparked the conversation, and she politely requested that this is a formal request that we do this topic today. Love you for that, Petra. Thank you. So we're going to talk about that. Um, that's the gist of it. What, and I know this, you're going to have a lot of examples of the joy of missing out on certain things, because you and I, we've talked about this in kind of um, like a subtle way before, where we don't really live by the calendar, and like New Year's is like whatever. It's just like, so that to me is a joy of missing out. Like I really don't need to go to a New Year's party. So I'll let you run with it.
I'm going to give an umbrella statement to this is I don't participate in society as a whole.
Right.
I love the reality that I get to create. It's so much better. Why would I waste any time engaging in what I believe is absurdity and ridiculousness of things that are not going to make a difference in a day, a week, a month, 6 months, a year to mine or anybody's life. And I am so joyous to miss out. I I want to control my time and what I do with it and who I interact and how is that going to bring more joy to others and community and love and happiness and all the things that I love to do and play with, then engage in anything that why would I waste my time? I don't know. You've heard me say, I don't know how much time I got left. The comedian Mark Maron, his nephew comes says, Uncle Mark, come watch a punk rock band with me. And he's like, look, I'm good. I don't know how much time I got left. I got the Almonds and the Grateful Dead. I'm good. How much time am I going to spend on something that doesn't bring me bliss, joy, and happiness? And in those golden moments we talk about, in these golden relationships, to be engaged in something. Thank you, Petra, for choosing a topic that I have no passion about whatsoever.
I'd like to hear.
Sarcasm meter, ding, 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 ding.
I'd like to hear. I'd like to hear from you watching right now. If you have any examples of a joy of missing out on something, what would it be? Where other people would, it's like social media is fear of missing out, and it's like, well, what is everybody doing? What are they all doing? Let me just go check that out. That's fear of missing out. And the joy of missing out simply would be, you know what? I'm going to put my phone down for an hour and just turn it off. That's the joy of missing out on social media and everything else that's going on. Just examples. And coming to mind as you were talking would be for me, even when I go to a live event. When I go to a live event, I'm engaged there, and then after the training or whatever it is, most people want to go and have drinks or socialize or network. I have the joy of missing that out. Like,
Yeah.
I just go, no, thank you very much. I'm going to go to my room and I just want to recharge by myself. And what I'm doing is, it's kind of a combination of both, because I'm the fear of missing out for me in that case is that my brain is already on fire. It's like I've taken so many notes that I want to go back in and I want to now do what I do, right? I want to analyze them, I want to like highlight them, I want to do my thing. So if I went down to the other thing, it would just freak me out. I'd be the fear of missing out on the thing that I enjoy. Does that make
Right.
sense?
No, that makes total sense, Joey. Is I love it because your fear of missing out of your bliss, your flow, your zone, your juice. That's you. You ingest information, you osmosis it, and then you need to process it. That's what makes you you in your uniqueness. And going down, if you were down there and hanging out with people, which for some people it might be, hey, I need to network and I need to
Right.
make content, and that would be their thing. They're like, I already got what I need. This is what I came for.
Right.
Came to, and the fear of missing out for them, and then they would think, well, Joey's missing out on this, when in actuality, no. And if you went down and participated with them, you'd say, I'm missing out on my process, and I'm going to feel crappy or that because I didn't get to take that information that I came here for that was so valuable. So it makes total sense.
Yeah. What about you? Anything come to mind? Netta has one: joy of missing out on job, career, business that doesn't give me energy. Okay. Is there, um, what's the joy of missing out on job, career, business that doesn't give me energy? Is there a specific thing? I'd like to know a specific thing. That'd be really cool. Like an event, because that's pretty broad. So I'm going to challenge you on that one.
What about Petra, Miss? I'm going to choose the topic for tonight and demand it. Where's
That's true. Let's hear from Petra.
Yeah, I
All
know it.
right. Let's hear from Petra. What about you? Like any specific example? Because it would really help.
Oh gosh. Obviously, anything I'm engaging in, when it comes to be night, whatever time, whether it's noon or 5:30, it's like I ain't missing out. I don't care how great what's happening or conversation or that. uh, I'm not going to miss out on my yoga. And when I'm in my yoga, I don't need to think about, because I'm not missing out on anything. And my phone, since I've owned it, has never been on. There is no ringer. I don't know if there's somebody calls or text. At some point in time during the day, I'll take a look at it and see if there's anything I need to deal with. And
So that's the joy of missing out. Like you're
that
saying, you
is,
know what, my phone, a joy of missing out on my phone. Like,
well, the joy of missing out not only on the phone, but everything that it stands for now. So when I drive down the road, I'm looking at the beauty and I'm paying attention
right,
to my safety and everyone else's. Not, I've got to be totally engaged all the time with a device, and that to me is not connecting to people. What you and I do when we come here, what all of us do, that's connecting in as close as we can to me just coming over and hanging out with you, because geographically it doesn't make sense.
right, right. Petra's saying it's about when the decision not to participate or take in the offer gives you the bubbles of joy and you're no longer a prey to FOMO. Exactly. So what is it for you, Petra? Like what's an event for you that or something that you choose not to do that gives you joy? And Netta is, I'm happy that I chose to teach because it gives me energy. So what are you letting go of there? Like the joy. So that's the joy, the JOMO. The JOMO is that, or what's the JOMO that you're like getting rid of?
Yeah,
That's
what is she joyous about missing out on
because of
because
the
she's
teaching.
teaching?
Yeah. I'm happy that I don't miss out on meals with my family every morning and every evening. I turn down outings. There you go, right there. So I
Okay,
turn down outings to be connected with my family. So that's the thing.
yeah,
It's like you're joyous to say no, thank you. I don't want to go to that outing, and I want to be with my family. You taught me through being you and through being here how not to have that fear. I no longer chase after the next. Amazing. This is where I belong and gain insights, knowledge, strength, courage to keep up without having to chase other programs or people. Thank you very much. Thanks, Joey Scott. Love and soul hugs. Love you back. Thank you for saying that. That is so amazing.
Thank you, Collie.
Scott?
Petra says, last week my former boss asked me to come back, but although I need money, I said, no, thank you. It might serve your needs, but not mine. Now that's the joy of missing out in specificity.
That's brilliant. I love that, Petra.
Great for you, Petra. That is, I said no thank you to being an entrepreneur all my life.
Okay.
Well, that's a fear. Yeah.
Joyous not to be working the job.
That's
yeah, so,
Daniel.
yeah, I got that one.
Okay.
I do see that name.
How about more specificity, Daniel?
I'm gonna try. I'm just trying to think. There was one that crossed my mind as you were talking that just escaped it. What did you just say, Scott? About yeah, it'll come back to me. I had another specific example just to kickstart this. And if you're listening to this, we're talking about the joy of missing out. What is something that you choose to let go of or not participate in that everybody else is participating in, basically, or saying you should be there, type of thing, or an event, and then you say no, I'd rather not because I get more joy not being there. That's the way I see this, right? It doesn't even mean, the example I gave you with the event for me, even if I just went to my room just to sleep, which I do a lot of too, is just the joy of not being there in that energy. Not that the energy is bad or anything, it's just not for me, but that gives me joy. Like somebody would look at me and think, you're crazy. You get joyous by going upstairs and sleeping for a couple of hours? Like, yeah, totally. It's just I'm in my bliss after an event like that. Or even when I go on a vacation, which is rare, right? So when I go on a vacation, I'm not sitting at the beach all day. I might go to the beach for an hour or something, but I'll go back to my room and frickin' read when I could be doing that at home. But that gives me joy. Like I'm in my room alone reading, and that's a joy of missing out. I'm missing out on the vacation and the sun and all that other stuff, right? Anyway, any thoughts come to mind as I'm rambling here about my?
Well, not on that particular ramble, but I mean, for me, Joey, I'm going to take it to what my live was a little bit about, was the whole nutrition piece for me. I mean, to me, to eat clean and organic and do what I'm doing, to me, that's the joy of missing out on a large percentage of the world that eats processed, fast food, crap, garbage, chemical laden stuff. Not getting on a soapbox or anything,
I
because
hear you.
I don't judge anyone how, but for me, the joy of missing out on driving through McDonald's and eating a Big Mac and a cheeseburger chaser with fries and an orange drink, which is like, holy crap, what would I potentially feel like if I ever did that again? That to me is the joy of missing out, because I ate that stuff years ago, and now it's like, really?
I hear you.
You had a thought? Lorna said, this is making me think. Well, it's about time, Lorna. Oh, there's the sarcasm meter, ding, ding, ding.
It took you 105 episodes to think, right?
I know I have a desire to be included in events, groups, etc. Yet there's times I'm fine without it. I have to think about specifics. Good,
Yeah.
thank you. Save us a few words of asking you for it, Lorna.
Yeah, it's a very interesting conversation, because what it's a lot of it has to do with just following the herd type of deals. Like everybody's doing this, so I should go do that too because everybody else is doing it. And well, I get joy by just not doing that. That happened. I mean, when I go back to the news thing, that was a big thing for me, changing that intake or habit. And it really wasn't a news guy anyway, but this is like back in 2007. That's how long I haven't watched news or anything like that. And it's like everybody around me was about, did you hear the thing? Did you hear that? Or they'd be talking the water cooler crap. And I'm like, oh my God, I have no idea what's going on. I don't even want to talk about this anymore. But I have that fear of letting that go, or the joy of letting it go.
I have friends who will call me and say, did you hear about? And I'll say, stop. No, but did you hear it? No. Well,
that's no, a good. I'm stealing that one. Did you stop?
No, it's all yours. Netta says, when I was writing my grammar book with stressful deadlines from the publisher, I was happy not to accept any more stressful contracts, even if they wanted to work with me again.
Well, okay, so here, thank you for you just sparked an idea here. This brings me back to 2019. The fear of missing, or the joy of missing out on the clients that I helped them fire me. It was
Mhm.
like, okay, here's people who are paying me every month, but the joy of me missing out on this is that they're gonna help. I'm gonna help them fire me, which they did, and then it was like, this is amazing. I mean, then everything else happened. It wasn't a great year but I was still joyful about making that decision. And even today, as we talked a little bit before, is like, okay, I've got opportunities. Is the joy of missing out on these opportunities? Like, I can take either one. There's no fear of missing out, that's for sure.
Do you see using this in marketing?
I guess you could. Why not? If you use the fear of missing out, why not?
Well, I presume you could also use the joy of missing out too.
Yeah, well, I'll reference what I do is 96% of the stuff that I eliminate in
Right.
everybody's marketing world. How would you like to have the joy of missing out on all of 96% of the crap that stresses you out? How's
Hmm.
that? Right? There's a marketing thing right there.
There you go. Joy of missing out on all the crap that you don't want to do, that who the hell wants to struggle with it?
Um, so we are talking about the opposite of the fear of missing out, which is the joy of missing out. And if there's anything specific that we'd love to hear from you about your um, ideas of what joy of missing out is. What are the things that you make a decision, a conscious decision to not do that pretty much everybody else is doing, or things that you should do? I teach the joy of missing out on sugar. There you go.
I like it.
That's pretty good. The joy of missing out on sugar.
Excellent.
And there you go. There's a huge hook for you, Netta.
A
And you can
great
thank Petra for this.
The joy of missing out on sugar. I've not seen that used like that, Joey. Netta, go for it. Like boom. The joy of missing out on sugar.
Yeah.
Mm,
Because that's like contrarian, right? Like, what do you mean? I love sugar. How could there be joy
yeah,
in missing out on sugar?
yeah.
Let me tell you
Wow.
how.
Let me tell you how. Ask me how.
There's got to be a better way. There is. There's joy in missing out on sugar. Oh my god! You ever watch Shark Tank when they do that? There's got to be a better way. Oh my god, it's so classic. I know they do it over the top, but it's kind of funny
Right.
when they get to that piece. There's
Yeah.
got to be a better way. The joy of missing out. Any other ideas on the joy of missing out for you?
Oh
Where does
boy.
this take you?
What's that?
Where does this take you?
It takes me to the place where I love being, which is totally creating the reality in the yoga world and the people and the dream clients, the dream businesses that I want to play with and build, and just it's constant playing. You hear me use that word all the time. And the joy of missing out on what other people think that life needs to be about, which is engaging in stuff that will mean nothing at the end of a day, a week, a month, or a life. And it's just an overall attitude towards we have the option to do what we love. We have the option to create those moments of joy, bliss, and happiness that I like to refer to as the golden moments and the golden relationships in life. And life is about loving people and serving them and helping them, which goes to the ikigai, to the joy of missing out on how other people believe that this existence and this life is so enormous, and focusing and realizing it. That I was playing in the yoga studio this morning and the owner came in. It's like, how's it going? He goes, what's up with you? I said, I'm playing in a yoga studio. How could it get any better for me? That's just for me. So the joy of missing out on, I got a list of all kinds of stuff I'm doing because, like I told you, we're getting ready to build a separate funnel and run two different ones based on audiences and stuff. And going and doing a couple of things. And the joy of missing out on that was going and playing in there. And then, but I don't have the fear of missing out on that. I've told you about laundry meditation. I do the laundry because it's kind of a process, a system that I've created. I don't know if there's anything to do with the joy of missing out or the fear of missing out, but it really, I've got it down to it's 2 minutes to the laundromat. It's another 2 minutes for me to get it in and that. I come back here, 28 minutes later, I go get it out and transfer it. That's 4 minutes. I've got the thing down to like 14 minutes. And when I get it here, I have the joy of missing out on all of this multiplicityness that I play with, because it's the joy of missing out in an activity that you said schedule think time.
Yeah.
So it's playing with it in a lot of different ways, little simple things that we do that, like, I'll take it even further, Joey. Like when I go to one of the markets that I go to, and I kind of go like almost every day because I love to, and buy some clean organic food. I love interacting with people and being fun and unique and different and bringing a smile and just playing with what they say. And that's the joy of missing out on just like, hi, thank you. So again, there's a lot of ways to play with this.
I have an example, that happened yesterday. My phone actually rang, right?
Like,
Which is rare. And, just the joy of swiping, like, don't take the call, whatever the thing is.
yeah,
Just that alone is a joy of missing out. Like, I don't need to pick up that call to see who's on the other end or whatever. Just like, no, not taking the call. Here's another crazy example, but I'll just put this out there and maybe it'll spark some thought. Joy of missing out for me is getting into my car and going to the bookstore and looking through all the books. Even though I love that, I love doing that, but I can now pick up Amazon, flip through when I get a book recommendation. Wow, that's amazing! Buy now. It's on my iPad in seconds. The joy, the joy of missing out of I got to go to the store or I got to order and wait for the dang thing to come, which I like that too. That's another joy
yeah,
of missing out, right?
yeah,
It was like I don't have to go to the store and buy this. Amazon is going to actually bring this to me.
yeah.
Right? So these are all the little things that light me up. It's like this is great. I got this recommendation for a book and I'm reading it now. This is amazing.
Yeah. Yep. Well, the fear of missing out. Here we go. The fear of missing out and not reading this book.
All right. Hey, what do you think?
I just got it, and I've got do different, and I've got nail it and scale it sitting on the coffee table and launching.
That coffee table's got to be a huge coffee table because every freaking book you talk about is sitting on the coffee table.
They are. I pick them up. I read a little bit, and this one, yeah, this one's on top of the abs books and the anatomy books.
That's great. Like it's just a different perspective, right, about the creativity.
And right there, Joey, just the books that we have that we play with constantly. That's the joy of missing out on watching the news. Sorry.
See, but bro, you know what? Like that's a big FOMO for me. Like when somebody recommends a book or something,
oh yeah,
I have huge FOMO on that one. Like what are they saying in that book? I gotta know. That's just me. And then when I get it, it's the joy of missing out on whatever normal people do in the morning, like by turning on, the TV and watching news and striking up a cigarette. Like I don't know, and I'm sitting there reading, the book. That's the fear of missing out on all that stuff.
Again, Joey, another different level or piece of it for me. Now that we're talking about it, was I did my live earlier, and I talked about. I have not had a maple latte for 247 days. That means I didn't have 494 maple lattes. That means I haven't consumed 135,500 calories and spent $2,964. What do you think the joy of missing out on maple lattes is for me right now?
There's a whole bunch of joys there.
I'm saying the joy of missing out on that, and then like every day now in the abs challenge, there's a fear of missing out on. I got to do my abs. It's like it's non-negotiable now because I did a challenge, and the fear of missing out on doing it. And
what's the joy that you're that that's the joy you're choosing. What are you giving up? Like what's the joy? It's for the joy of you're giving up to go do the abs challenge at that point. In
Well,
anything there?
it's no, because it's 10 to 12 minutes. That's the beauty of them.
Okay.
It's like that's the thing. We created it that it's only 10 minutes. What's the big deal? It's not like I got to do 5,000 sit-ups in 45 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes, boom, done. In these little, the joy of missing out on a bigger level now. Uh, go on.
No, you see, like it gets you thinking, right? That's the whole idea of this, that you start to brainstorm and think about, hey, there's a lot of this in my life that we've just been overlooking. Petra says, when you are aware about if you make a decision out of FOMO, you can reverse it and easier to say no. Yes. And the joy is like I escaped and turned fear into positive energy. Yes. Yeah, I see where you're going with this.
Don't take it down. I'm gonna. When you're aware about if you make a decision out of FOMO, you can reverse it. Yeah, joy is, and the joy is like, is there an H in poof? I thought it was just PFFF. Just checking, Petra. I escaped and turned fear into positive energy. Thought it was PFFFT was poof.
Yeah, that's right. You're right.
Yeah, please do some research, Petra, and repost it with the proper spelling.
Yeah,
There.
if you're going to engage with us,
Ding, 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 ding.
make sure you do your things right here.
Yeah.
Netta, I had a huge JOMO on my full-time salary when we were traveling for months during our sabbaticals. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. So where were you going, bro? Like, you had this big thought.
I have no idea where I was going, Joey. I lost my script. It was somewhere, but it was going to a much bigger level of the joy of missing out or fear of missing out, and it's gone right now.
It's crazy how it makes you think, what, all the things, because fear is such a huge motivator for a lot of people, right? And it's, I love the fact of living in joy, the joy of
Yeah.
missing those things. And I think I've always been like that, just maybe haven't labeled it that. I remember even when I first started online, the joy of missing out for me, which was not the greatest move, but I still was happy about it, was when I started my blog and I thought, you know what? All those people putting those stupid little capture things on the side that says sign up for my newsletter, I'm not going to do that. So there was a joy of missing out on that for years. It wasn't really the smartest thing to do, but that was a joy of missing out because everybody else was doing it. And I thought, don't need to. So that was a mistake.
Here's an interesting two-edged sword.
Okay.
The joy of missing out on having somebody tell you what to do, meaning what Daniel said, a JOB, where somebody tells you what to do. So there's the joy of missing out. And in entrepreneurship, as we know, there's the fear of missing out on somebody telling you what to do, but no matter what, there's a paycheck. So there's an interesting two-edged sword with that. For us, you've heard me say this before, I'm willing to risk it all to do this, and there's always something next behind it, after it. You and I were talking a little bit about, before the call, on what you're doing now and how you're taking content and throwing it up faster, easier, simpler, engaging to help more people. And there's a joy of missing out on the old way of spending, the joy of missing out on all the hours that people spend, which now you get to bring a new process to people so that they have the joy of missing out on more crap that they shouldn't be spending time doing on.
Yeah, and to your point, even to that, which is
I
the
had a
joy
point.
of
Oh,
the
good.
joy. You have 1 point in 100 episodes. There has to be something.
Hey,
right?
what the hell?
Sooner or later, we're going to get a point from you.
Sooner or later, we'll get 1 point.
So, is like, even I look back at the joy of missing out on going through all of the baby steps of getting to that point of now being able to do all the content. Sometimes there's an advantage. Yes, there's an early adopter advantage and all that stuff. But for me, it was, you know what? I'm happy with this. Now I'm at a point where I can just go to the person that I'm connected with and the person who does it the best and say, can you just tell me how to do this now? And within 15 minutes, I've got the plan or the blueprint or whatever and go, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Now, maybe I could have been an influencer. Maybe I could have had my own, right? My own fleet of cars and stuff if I would have been an early adopter. But that's the joy of missing out for me. I was like, okay, I don't need to deal with all that stress right now.
You know,
Right? There's always a ways that you're looking at it.
as you're saying that, Lorna came up into my thoughts of all of her people get the gift of the joy of missing out on having to go through all the struggles and trials and tribulations and challenges and frustrations and of fixing a funnel and doing all that crap. The joy of missing out on that. And then, as I said it, poof, Lorna pops up in the chat. How synchronistically, coincidentally cool is it, Lorna? Oh, I have JOMO on having to be in an office at a specific time and having to work until a specific time. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right
That's
on.
joy. Like
Right on.
early on in my employment career, right out of college, I learned that I didn't play well with others. It's just, you know what? It was like, no. After a few years of playing that game and saying, no matter what, it's just you're not going to play well with others who are telling you what to do because you're always going to say, that's absolutely absurd. It just doesn't make sense when it could be simpler, more efficient, and it would work so much better. But you're the boss. So it's like, nope, that ain't
Oh
happening.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, dude. Yeah. I had one job, like it was kind of like my dad's when I was working with my dad's company, and then he was going under for like the eighth time or 10th time, and he said, "You got to go get a job." So anyway, he hooked me up with Emerson. You remember, Emerson, right?
Yeah.
And I don't even know if they're still in business, but
Oh,
anyway, I was the head of the parts department because I love that in my little cubicle. Give me my little parts, and I'm not dealing with anybody, and I'll just do my little thingy and organize and all that stuff. And so I went to the new warehouse, and there was nothing there because it was just being built here in Mississauga and Toronto, whatever. And for weeks on end, we just all we did is sit there and play cards. I'm with the shipping guy, we're playing cards, right? And then the shipments start to come in of TVs. I helped unload TVs one truckload. I'm like, okay. And then the shipments of my parts came in. So I'm like, yay! I can now not do that other stuff and go set up my parts. And the guy goes, no, you have to help unload the TVs because those are more important. I'm like, that's not what I was hired to do. So
not my job.
yeah, so
Not my job. Not my job, man.
and so it didn't really, my job didn't last very much. And again,
I'm
and this
shocked,
is,
Joey, that your job didn't last.
and then my dad is like, and these are favors, when you pull the favor
Yeah.
strings,
Oh, yeah.
and I have to go back to calling to my dad and go, yeah, like, I no longer work at Emerson. Theo fired me, and man, that was a funny conversation. So the fear of missing out, or no, the joy of missing out on not doing all that is amazing. I don't have to deal with all that stuff.
Many, many moons ago, Joey, when I was ascending the hospitality world, the Boca Raton Resort and Club in Boca Raton, Florida, is like this unbelievable upscale hotel, resort, country club, like just everything, and the epitome of luxury. And there was the top of the tower was a restaurant, and it was gueridons and fine service. And one of my connections from where I was going to school, at the college, studying it, he got me a job there. And I was like, oh my God, this is like amazing. And then I get there and it's like totally the opposite of what it was. Just this, like the way it was run, and how the employees were doing what they were doing. It's like, this isn't what service is about. They were just like, how fast can we get the mechanics done and how much money can we make? And it was like, it felt so ooky to me. So the joy of missing out on even that level of, then ended up going to another But I always had the joy of missing out, or never the fear of missing out on. It was like, I'm going to go and do this thing.
Yeah, if I now you're thinking, there's so many examples of this. If I look back now at my
Yeah,
growing up as a teenager, going into clubs where everybody goes, I'm going to go clubbing now. I'm like, right. So what did I do? I went for clubbing for maybe a year,
yeah.
maybe not even that, but let's say it's a year, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be the DJ. I'm gonna actually do both. I'm gonna get paid to come to the club. The joy of missing out on going clubbing and all around was turned into, hey man, a whole business. Like, it was just a totally flip of the whole. So I don't, if I look back and say, do you regret not going clubbing all around? No, because it was a joy of not doing that.
So here's something interesting, of course, as you're saying it, Joey, and thank you, Petra. This is just a fun ping pong. This is a ping pong.
Yeah, just triggers one after the other.
Yeah, and of course, now that I said that, is, as we go through an opportunities, the one door opens, another one closes, or the window opens, whatever it is, and you look at something and say, well, okay, here's this thing, this opportunity. Do I have a fear of missing out if I don't engage in it? Or is there a joy of missing out if I do engage in it, because I'm missing out on that path that I may have taken, or that thing I was working on?
Well, it's the joy of missing out on that thing and doing something else,
Right.
not that thing. It's like, is it, if I don't do this, is it the fear of missing out, or is it I'm still not going to do this thing,
Mhm.
but it's joyful because I'm going to go do this other thing, right? Is that what you meant?
I don't know what I meant, but it sounds good, whatever you said. Yeah, because
I'm the clarity guy, man. Remember,
you
so
are
I'm
the
trying to.
clarity guy. I don't know what I mean. You'll tell me what I mean. You make it
Here's
clearer than everybody
here's
else.
what you mean.
Here's what you mean.
So, I think we just
Here's
have
what
to
you
be.
mean, and here's how you're feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Here's what you feel. Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
I think we just have to be more aware that there is the opposite side of FOMO and not chase the shiny objects.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And be aware, like, I like the labeling of the joy of missing out,
Yeah.
Petra. Like, I like that label. And the more I think about it, the more I talk about it, it's huge in marketing. If you start using that in marketing,
Yeah.
it's just huge.
In my life purpose call on Monday, we talked about one of my life purpose, obviously yoga. And it was interesting because I was challenged to spend 5 minutes a day on playing with the whole marketing plan for the yoga studio. It's not mine. I'm just playing with it. It's a toy. I love it. Why? Because I want to help people market yoga studios and yoga teachers market yoga, and more people taking yoga, and et cetera, et cetera. And I look at that and go, well, doing 5 minutes a day is a commitment for the next week to, the joy, the fear of missing out on that, what I love, and going from 1% slowly up to 100%. And then the joy of missing out on all the other stuff that maybe I was not loving as much as, and then coming back down on the other side, back down, which goes to $100 million offers, Alex Amosian, of, once you get to 100%, you're fully engaged, and then you figure out how to go down to that. I don't know. There's some FOMO, JOMO in there playing, because as I realized that the fear of missing out, now I have the joy of missing out on the fear of missing out. How's that for
Wow, now we're going meta.
a
Well, if we take this all the way back up to marketing, which is what the show is about, then
really?
the joy of missing out for me is all of that stuff, all
Yeah,
of that funnels and upsell, downsell thingies and
yeah.
automations and all that stuff. Even though I love it, but to me, it's the joy of missing out on it.
Well, interesting. Again, now that you said it, back to me. When we launched Video Memory Maker on Friday, the sales page we simplified, Joey. So the old thing, I don't need 18 steps. It was like, kind of, here's what this is all about, and watch this little video for 154 seconds. And if you like it, you should get it. That was it. It wasn't I didn't need to go through the history of the world and go through every step and a connection story and this. And I really want you to create heartfelt videos that your loved ones is just going to be touched by. That's it. And this is the thing that'll help you do it. It's really easy. Check it out. You don't like it, I'll give you your money back and you can keep it forever. That was it. That's the whole sum total. The
Was
words.
was it like in a production studio?
What's that?
The video.
Well, it's Carvel. So, Carvel has got somebody saw it who is a big internet marketer and was like, where did you hire that voice actor? I want to find that. Somebody else was like, I am so pissed off at you. I am so jealous, but I'm so happy. It's like, who'd you outsource this to? Where did it come from? How long did it take? It would have taken me a week and I wouldn't have done it that good. Carvel and I wrote the script and he went and recorded it and made the video because that's what we do. But that was it. We didn't spend a month. It was one day. And, the joy of missing out on spending weeks and months to launch something. Again, I don't, the fear of missing out. I told you I'm going to build, what do I want to call it? I'm going to build a couple of offers into this to give them an opportunity to have a couple of other things that'll benefit them on the first thing without using the word, upsells and that. Look, you got this thing. I got another
Well,
thing.
you can call it that. I mean, that's what you do, right? I mean,
you do upsell, right? I got this thing.
Just because I don't do it doesn't mean you can't say what you do. Like, that's cool.
Well, I don't like using words that might upset you, and then you.
Oh, I mean, it might even add a little bit of fireworks to the show. So, like, right.
Facebook jail and all the things that I fear missing out on.
Sorry, man, I need to cut you off. Yeah, you're doing, offer, upsell, downsell, cross sell. What are you doing?
Again, it's like, look, you're getting this thing, and I got this cool thing that'll help you do some more cool things. And while you're doing the cool things, I got something else you're really going to love. And it would be a disservice if I didn't say, here's these cool things. If you really love doing this thing, well, it's like, if you love doing something, then why shouldn't I help you? I had that conversation with someone today who used the word like, aren't I bombarding people with this? I was like, where the heck did you construct that from? That's not even a thing. Somebody said, no, you'd be doing a disservice if you didn't share with them the importance of this information that's going to transform their lives. Shame on you. So the JOMO Fomo of whatever I just said, you go take it.
Here's an idea.
Okay.
What just came to me is, if it's a disservice to not tell people about all these other things, why not tell them up front?
Yeah.
No, but I'm asking you, why not? Why go through a funnel that says, here's this thing. You just bought that. And if you love that, you're going to love this. Why not say all up front, go, look, before you buy anything, let me show you what I've got here. And then you can choose whatever you want. But there's a couple things I really think you should, that would help you.
I got what I came for tonight. I'm done.
Okay, trademark
Joey.
Joey Ragona right now on February 1st. That is the new quote unquote funnel.
Holy crap, the new funnel. That's it. Here's what I got. Pick what you want. Have a nice day.
Before you buy, let me show you the awesomeness that I have for you, and you can choose whichever one's right for you. But I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't show you everything. Rather than going through the whole hullabaloo, jump through the hoops, got this offer, blah, 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 and here's the next thing kind of stuff. That's just me. You can do it. And who's ever watching this still wants to do those other things, that's great. But if it was me, that's how I'm going.
Joey, what if I miss out on the upsell and the downsell?
But you have it there.
Well, wait, I have the joy of really getting rid of the, going back to what I said, the joy of missing out on any kind of manipulation, which is instead of like, wait, hold on, there's more. Before you go any further, I need the click. No, thank you.
That's a joy. That's a joy of missing out for me, is when I do go through someone else's thingy and that thing pops up. I'm like, oh, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
no thanks. And I'm looking for that little no thanks,
Little tiny
like
no thanks.
it's
It's like it's
8 point
eight.
bullet
I thought
thingy.
it was
Like,
6 point, not eight. I
oh,
didn't
it's six
realize it
point.
was that big.
6 point, and it's gray. You can barely
And it's
see it, but I
gray.
find
Yeah,
it.
you gotta search for it to get out. And then you're like, wait a second, did I get the first thing or not? There's
So
the fear of missing out on the thing that I just
no,
bought.
that's a joy of missing out for me. Like, this is
And the
going to be
joy of
great.
missing out on the second thing that you didn't really want when you finally find the no thanks button. Yay!
Because then you get because then what happens is then the next day, or even like 3 minutes later, you get the inbox thing and goes, "Hey, you forgot something in your cart. Let me." And then you can
Yeah,
it's the exact same
that's what
thing.
I was going to post in the group the other day, Joey. But I had the fear of missing out on posting it. Was I was going to ask you how many emails should be in the cart abandonment sequence, and how many times should you badger somebody who put their name in but didn't complete, because the statistics show that so many more percentage of people abandon the cart, and then you have to go after them and chase them and convince them. It's like if your stuff is so good, they're gonna claw through a 3 foot wall to get to that
It's
sheet.
true. It's true.
Or
Like,
if
I've abandoned many carts, and that just means I'm just not that interested
you
in it.
weren't
And
that,
yes, you're going to get somebody who's going to go, "Oh yeah, that's right. Let me buy that." And I've been that person too, so I
yeah,
understand it, the
I do
logic
too.
behind it.
In the
In the
the joy of missing out on that whole thing.
Yeah, in the end, what's it going to do for you? You get one or two people, but you piss off like 9 million other people.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
that was why I went with just a single step. It's all there on one page, everything.
Yeah,
You don't have to scroll
yeah.
to find the offer and to find the thing and the 7,000 bonuses that you're never going to use that you're going to download. The fear of missing out on those. The
If you
joy of
don't buy, if you don't buy now, right? That's the
you
fear of
don't
missing
buy
out.
right now,
That's
the
what it's
price
all
is
about.
going.
The fear of missing out.
Yeah,
And then what happens is the funny thing is, you know, they're shooting the fear of missing out at us on the sales page, okay?
yeah,
And we don't bite, and then the fear of missing out flips to them
yeah.
because they're sending you emails.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you missed this thing. It's still
Yeah.
available, by the way, right? And that was on them. The fear of missing out on us buying. It's so classic.
And then the classic fear of missing out emails.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They start sending you this email.
Well, I'm saying, then of course we unpack oh, something happened and people couldn't log in, and somebody had this, and this happened to this, and we didn't realize this, so we're going to extend it, and this, that. And they're going to drain that FOMO until it's just like uh, the launch was a failure. Why? Because you didn't find out first if people really wanted your stuff. He did it backwards like Scott did. He built something, and now he's got to figure out who the heck's going to buy it.
Yeah, we can always turn this right back into marketing. Anything
Did
we
I
talk
just
about,
say that?
we can turn it back into a marketing discussion. It kind of reminds me of when I was learning real estate, and the dude said, turn every conversation into real estate.
Yeah.
And okay, whatever, I get it. But that's what we're doing. Like, we turn every conversation into a marketing conversation. But it's true. Like, all you're doing is walking around and marketing. Like,
What
right?
else is there,
So
Joey? Everything's marketing.
it is.
Everything.
It's classic. Fear of missing out is so powerful, but I like the joy of missing out. And Petra, thank you for bringing this topic up, because it got us on so many different tangents, or not really tangents. It was more of ideas that come to mind,
I think it was,
right?
just so many different ways to unpack it.
Yeah.
Because it was constantly JOMO FOMO. This is probably one of the only episodes that we stayed on track for most of it. We didn't really go somewhere else because it was such a ping pong effect that there was so many ways to take it. A lot of
Yeah.
times we unpack a concept, a strategy, a system, or whatever, and we kind of try and get back to that. This one really didn't have a central theme that we could come back to, so we just had to jump.
Ideas and examples. I'm loving it. And thanks again for another awesome Tuesday night. Hopefully you're going to have I don't know what you're doing. You got to go build your funnels or whatever it is that you got to go do.
No, actually,
I'm gonna have the JOMO of not having to do that.
I'm actually going to go buy some celery
Good.
and some ginger and maybe some Ezekiel bread, which isn't really bread. And I'm going to do some abs tonight. And I'm done with this thingy of technology stuff for today.
So you got JOMO right now
I have
with
the
the stuff.
joy of missing out on all this command center.
Amazing, man. Have yourself a great night.
You
And you
too.
watching, thank you for watching. Hashtag live if you're on the live, or hashtag replay so I can know that you're watching the replay. And thank you for the love and the hearts and the claps and the hands up or the thingies or
And
whatever it is that
we
whatever channel you're on. Thank you
Dexter
for
said
that.
it's so funny to watch you ping ponging with ideas and oh, Collie, amazing show. Thanks, Petra, for bringing this, and love to you all, and Joey and Scott, and hugs and soul hugs. And I told you guys I learned so much from you too.
There's
Make,
that funny ping ponging thing. And yeah, it
make
was very
sure that
interesting.
you send the PayPal transfer to Narcissa, please. Are we
Definitely.
still live, Joey, or are we off the air?
Yeah, can we talk about that? Can we really talk now about stuff? No.
Yeah, can we really talk about stuff now? Can we be honest about this? Don't you love it when someone says to be totally honest? What you've been
Oh
lying.
yeah. Can I be totally honest with you?
Be honest with you.
Really? So you haven't been honest up to now? Man, this is we can
Okay.
go on a whole other topic about that. And so the best ones are that one. Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
Right? And I'm gonna be authentic with you now.
Yeah.
I'm I'm gonna be authentic. Okay.
I've never heard that. I've just only heard to be honest with you.
I've heard it like on stages with speakers.
Really?
Oh yeah, walking up and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to be authentic. So I'm like, really?
I gotta tell
Anyway,
you the truth once and for all. Everything else to now has been a lie. This evening we've been talking about JOMO and FOMO on Heart-Centered Marketing Made Easy, an offshoot of Heart-Centered Marketing Club. Joey Ragona at the Realm,
see you next week.
or the helm, whichever.